What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Latoya Q back with another video. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. If you like the content of this video, make sure you like this video and I will post more content like this. So, if you haven't already seen by the title, yeah, I started semaglutide. So, I want to give a little bit of backstory as to why I got onto semaglutide, um, what I'm doing with my semaglutide, and how it's been going. So, yeah. So, anyway, I just left the doctor's office and got my third injection. So that means I've officially been on it 2 full weeks, and also I'm starting my third week now. If you've looked at my channel, if you followed my channel originally started because I wanted to do a weight loss journey, or I wanted to do a just journey in general of what was happening in my life around one of the biggest issues of my life, which is weight loss or having weight issues. So I've always had a battle with weight since I was a little girl. But it was because of my relationship with food and how I was taught and trained to eat. So, like many people who come from families that food is a big part of their culture, big part of their lives, food is one of those staples in my family where my dad, my mom were very big components of eat all your food. And when I was really little, I was very thin, extremely thin. And one of those things where it was eat all your food, and my parents thought that I was wasting food, but I actually just wasn't hungry. And so I actually got disciplined, corporal punishment discipline, for not eating food. And so my relationship with food changed about when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Now I know that's a lot of information for some people, and if it's too much information for you, just log off. It's okay. I won't be offended. I won't even know you were there. But it started this relationship that I had with food, which was one, I had to eat all of my food, and then two, don't waste anyone else's food. And so I became this overeater and I gained weight extremely quickly, extremely fast. And so it became a identity crisis or a body image issue with me as a young girl having a lot of weight pretty quickly. And I remember being young and people be like, man, you gain weight so fast, or how did you get so big, or whatever. It was like that. But it was because I had a very poor relationship with food based off of my culture or family background and how I was programmed or taught to eat. So all my life, I've had this yo-yo effect going on to where I either eat really, really good and healthy, or I'm a binger and I eat too much and I don't know how to cut it off, even to the point where I'm eating past the point of being full. And so I, again, went on this long journey and battle of weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss. And I had tried so many different things in my adult life, whether it was just going to the gym and working out, counting calories, counting macros and micros. Also, where it became, I got on phentermine at one time, as well as I became a detox junkie. Okay. So if you go back in my videos and you're like, oh, she used to take tea and she was on these different companies, different products. It wasn't because I was chasing money to be a network marketer. It wasn't because I wanted to sell anybody anything. I really was trying to battle my own self in weight loss. Okay. So, um, within the last 2 years, like again, if you have been following my channel, I had lost a significant amount of weight and then it began to come back. So, in total, about 8 years ago, I lost 100 pounds. And I started to gain some of that weight back about 2 years ago. So, I ended up gaining about 40 pounds in a matter of maybe a year, year and a half. But for someone who battles weight issues all the time, and it's not necessarily weight issues, it was relationship with food issues, because I battled that for so long, um, it began to weigh heavily on me more than just physically. It weighed more heavily on me because mentally I should have been able to overcome not necessarily this addiction to food, but this addiction to please. And so I had to start reprogramming myself, right? Anywho, long story short, I gained about 40 pounds in the last 2 years. And baby, let me tell you, when you felt confident, you felt good, and you felt like you were doing your thing and you no longer had an issue, and then all of a sudden this issue rears its head back up, it's almost like just disheartening. And so I figured I got to do something. I got to do something extreme. I got to do something drastic. And so my extreme was to go to my local med spa here in town, and I received my labs and consultation to get on semaglutide. And that was about, this is my third injection shot that I had today, and so that was about two weeks ago. Um, and so with my labs coming back and all that good stuff, I found that I had some um, what's the word? I had some deficiencies. So I had deficiencies in my vitamin D, deficiency in my iron levels, deficiency in just different chemical aspects of my body, which, if you understand your chemical makeup, it can affect how your mind functions and thinks, whether you're fatigued or whether you're, you know, not feeling hungry, and then all of a sudden you feel hungry, and because you didn't plan your day right, you may overeat or you may overconsume, or you just may consume the wrong things. I had fell into that trap and I didn't realize it was really based off of the chemical makeup of my body. I also deal with polycystic ovary syndrome, which is PCOS, and so I do have like excessive facial hair, or I may have just that belly fat, or just different issues that go on with anyone that has any type of hormonal or pituitary gland issues. You know, you're always going to be battling the chemical makeup of your body, where your body is just always out of whack and it's needing certain chemicals, or it's needing certain minerals, it's needing certain vitamins, or whatever it may be. And because it's deficient, it has an overload over here and a deficiency over here, and your body is trying to consume certain energies in the food. But if you're not giving yourself the proper energies, it's actually just basically being more detrimental than helpful when you eat. So, long story short, again, I had a bad relationship with food, and I also had a chemical imbalance in my body. So, I had to do something drastic, because as you get older, you're not able to lose weight like you want to lose weight. Now, with all that being said, I'm sure you're wondering, I do have some clips. I'm on my computer right now. My clips are on my phone. So I'm going to figure out a way to kind of get it all going together and vlogging this. So if you are interested in my semaglutide and weight loss journey now, definitely go ahead and not only hit that subscribe, but definitely just drop a comment, and just let's talk about it. So like I said, I only have a few more minutes just to talk, but I'm going to get into what my starting weight was, what the side effects or my effects have been, and then what my goals are and going forward. So, long story short, okay, so I started going to the doctor about 2 weeks ago, had my labs done, took my first injection. My first injection started at a 2.5, is it milligrams? Yeah, 2.5 milligrams. And my initial reaction to the injection, which I had behind my arm the first time, the initial injection, I didn't really feel a lot. I didn't even feel the prick from the needle, honestly. But within a couple of days of taking it, I felt a significant difference in my appetite, as well as just overall my continence and my, thinking ability, my ability to focus and concentrate and things like that, because my mind wasn't focused on the next meal. My mind wasn't focused on the scavenging, or I just wasn't feeling that, oh, I gotta eat. So it didn't, food never consumed my day, right? Which was a big shift from where I was coming from, where food was a big deal. What am I gonna eat? I'm excited about my next meal. I'm excited about the flavors. I'm excited about all that. So after I had my first injection behind my arm, 2.5 milligrams, um, it took a couple of days to start taking effect, but it was not strong. I didn't feel it to the point where I just had absolutely no appetite or anything like that. I didn't have any type of mental health issues that maybe some people may have felt. So no anxiety, no depression, no anything like that. I just felt really normal, just not hungry, right? And so I began to eat, but more consciously at this point. Because what I ate had to matter. It was suggested that I have a certain amount of protein. The protein helps because when you do take any type of medication like semaglutide, Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro, anything like that, it is a burner. So it's going to not only burn good fat, bad fat, it's also going to burn muscle. And you don't want to lose your muscle tone, or you don't want to lose uh, your body structure and start having issues. Well, one of the lab results that I had was I had low calcium. So it's very important that I kept, keep muscle on so that I don't have any bone problems, right? So my first week on semaglutide was super simple, super easy. I didn't have temptations. I was on vacation. As some of you guys can see, I was in Portland. But, even when I went to restaurants where it could be where I could overindulge or have, something that I shouldn't have had, I didn't. I just didn't have a taste for it. I didn't have a craving for it. I didn't even have a sensation of let me try it. It was really just a matter of let me eat what I'm supposed to eat and let me get up out of here. It's just food. It's not even anything important. But like I said, coming from a family and a culture of where food is important and where food is very impactful to how we interact with one another, it was different, but I felt good about it. So then it goes into the next second week where I took another injection that was also 0.25 milligrams. I had it in a different injection site where I had it in my abdomen. Now, over the last week, it has been very different than the first week. So I have absolutely no appetite. Also, when it is time to eat, I have to eat very, very small bites, maybe 4 to 5 bites at a time. It's also difficult to get food down, which means I'm not nauseated, but my swallowing reflexes is like, I don't want this food. How I liken it to or compare it to, it's almost like if you had already overate and you're still trying to stuff yourself with food, where your body is almost repulsed or rejected, like it's ready to reject anything you're trying to put on top of something. So it's been a struggle. It's been a real struggle over the last week to make sure that I get enough food. So a lot of my compensation for calories and proteins and different vitamins and nutritions that I need, I have been doing a lot of smoothies and shakes, and just a lot of protein drinks and bars. Because again, you don't want to lose any of your good muscle, so you do need to continue to have protein. So one of the suggestions that I had for protein intake was to have zero point 0.7 to 1, I think it's gram, of protein for the weight that I would like to be at or manage. And so my suggested protein is between 120 to 120 to 130 grams of protein every single day. Now, when you don't have appetite, it's a struggle to get that much protein in, let alone any calories in. Because, like I said, I'm only really able to consume about 4 to 5 bites at a time. And so it's a lot of grazing, but my grazing has been more or less protein bars, protein shakes, and some light snacks, maybe fruit, um, or whatever my body is actually asking for. That's what I give it. It does make you very, very thirsty. It makes you feel like, and I think it's actually hunger, not thirst. The reason why I say that is because when I was not on this and I was an eater, I had a very similar sensation. Um, but in my mind, it was like, okay, I need to eat. But really, I was probably dehydrated. But with this, I'm not feeling hungry. So I know it's not the hunger sensation, but I feel like I'm more thirsty. And so I consume a lot of liquids such as water. I do drink coffee with protein. I drink coffee with a protein shake in it and all that. But I think it's the flip of it now to where I'm more hungry and not dehydrated, but my body is still on the old program a little bit. So oftentimes I'm just more so drinking, not eating, versus like before where I'm eating and not drinking enough. So that's another side effect that I've been dealing with. Another side effect is I don't get very much sleep. My brain is very active. And the reason why my brain is a little bit more active, and it may be for other people as well, is because there are some blockers in there. There are certain chemical makeups in the medication that put blockers on certain neurons in the brain. So some of those hunger triggers that I would have normally had, I don't have that anymore. But also that tired feeling. I don't feel tired, but I definitely feel a little bit slower. However, I have enough going on in my head that I don't actually get to relax, and that's one of those side effects that I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm coping with that at this point because I already didn't get a lot of sleep anyway. So I might be averaging about 4 hours of sleep per day, which is strange because I'm normally averaging at least six. So to function off 4 hours of sleep over the last week and a half has been interesting. It's been interesting because I work overnights as well as I work during the day at my own spa. So I work overnights as a trauma specialist and a house parent at an emergency shelter with children. And then I also work at my own spa during the day. So to have that balance of night and day work as well as limited amount of sleep, which I already wasn't getting a lot of sleep anyway, has been pretty impactful for what may be considered mental health, because you do need to have enough sleep to keep your body energized. So getting things done, wanting to have having motivation to get things done has been a challenge because it's not that I'm tired, it's just I don't feel like doing anything. So but I got to keep going because ain't nobody got time for that. So that's another issue that I've had to definitely deal with. And then I'm not gonna hold you very much longer, but another issue that I've found myself dealing with is just essentially like my body reshaping. So I haven't mentioned how much weight I lost, so I'm going to tell you that now. So I started out at 245.8, almost 246 pounds. That's pretty high for me. I never wanted to get I never wanted to get back up to anything over 200. When I originally lost weight, I had went from like 293 like 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. I went from like 293 to about 176 pounds. And then to get back up to 246, yeah, pretty disheartening. But with that being said, I had lost 2 pounds the first weigh in last week when I went in. I had lost 2 pounds. And so they were like, that's amazing. That's good on 2.5. That's great. Then after the second dose, which was last week, um, coming in today to my doctor's appointment, I had lost another 7 pounds. So in total, I had lost 9 pounds over the last 2 weeks, which is too fast. And the reason why I've lost so much weight too fast is one, I was already a bad eater. So my body was already going to shed any type of excessive weight, water, or toxins or things like that from not consuming foods that I had already been consuming on a regular basis, such as wines and extra coffees with creamers or sugary foods or carby foods. Like that has almost essentially been completely eliminated out of my life. Okay. I don't even get that probably that much sugar, let alone that many calories in my body. Um, so losing 9 pounds in 2 weeks feels amazing. However, it also does do some damage to the body. So this particular week, on my third week of having semaglutide, they actually dropped my dosage down. And then next week, when I go home, they're going to still give me my regular vial that I would have taken, where I would have had 4 weeks of semaglutide dosages. However, being that they dropped down my dosage and I'm able to stay at this lower dosage, which is 0.15, um, I am able to have probably a little bit longer lasting dosage out of that vial. So I can go up or down whenever I want to, but because my body is so sensitive to the semaglutide, they definitely dropped my dosage down, as well as they gave me a different type of semaglutide. So they gave me the semaglutide with B12. The B12 is for energy, as well as it helps to combat any type of nausea, diarrhea, constipation, or any type of fatigue in the body or overload in the body. So the B12 is the booster to give the body just basically a little bit more balance with taking the semaglutide. Because again, my body's response to semaglutide is basically the shit is too strong. It's too strong. But because I have battled a level of weight issues, I became a good candidate for it. Even though I don't have diabetes, I don't have any type of body issue as far as dis-ease. Um, Even with me having very funky eating habits at a point in time. But I don't have any type of high blood pressure, diabetes, or anything like that. Semaglutide is for weight loss. It is not like Ozempic, Mounjaro. I think Wegovy may be for weight loss too, but um, semaglutide is for weight loss. It is FDA approved for weight loss. Ozempic is FDA approved for, I think, type 2 diabetes. So I don't have diabetes. I'm not pre diabetic. I don't have any type of blood sugar or blood pressure issues. So for myself, it just turns out that semaglutide is too strong because it still does mirror what like Ozempic and Wegovy and all those other things do. Um, I'm gonna wrap this up. So this particular week, my third week on semaglutide, now with B12. I am excited because they did drop down the dosage, and I should be able to function a little bit better. The difference between today and all not all the other two, the other two dosages is this particular week. Maybe it's because of the B12. I actually felt the injection move probably within, I felt the medication start to get into my bloodstream, um, my lymphatic system within about 10 minutes of receiving the dosage. That's why I'm doing this video today because I've watched a lot of videos and I ain't heard nobody say that one. But I actually felt it. Okay, so my first week's injection was in my arm. My second week injection was in the right side of my abdomen on my side of my belly button. This week's injection site was on the right side. So it was originally on my left side, then now I'm on my right side of my belly button. And this particular week, I did feel it hit my bloodstream or my lymphatic system because I felt it go into the side of my abdomen, but then I felt it shoot down into my lymphatic system and my groin. I'm very sensitive in my body, even though I'm a thicker girl. I'm very sensitive. I don't take medications on a regular basis. The only thing I ever took was super enzymes, probiotics, and vitamins. That's it. But at this particular point, I'm off of all of that. I don't take my probiotics. I do not take my super enzymes. However, I do take um, uh, uh, a doctor, the doctor's office had vitamins that I do take. So I'm actually doubling up on their vitamins. So I take, instead of one dosage or one pill, I take two of their pills because it was suggested that I need to take the extra pill for at least 2 to 3 weeks because my chemical makeup was so low. My vitamin D, my calcium, all that was too low. So um, that's just been my results so far. Again, I've lost 9 pounds in 2 weeks, which is pretty high because you should be averaging between 2 to 3 pounds per week. So I am ahead of schedule, if you will. So we dropped down the dosage. My goal is to lose a certain amount of weight and then go underweight and then put on 15 to 20 pounds of healthy fat and muscle bulk back up. But that's just so I don't have that sunken in face look or that lethargic, emaciated look. I don't want that. I never wanted to be skinny. I just wanted to be healthy, and I don't want to battle my mind about food consumption. So that is helpful. When you are on a medication or prescription like this, you are very much so more conscious of what you're consuming because you can't consume a lot. And so what I intake now is again high protein. Like I've probably had more protein in the last 2 weeks than I've had in probably the last 2 years. Because that's probably been one of my bigger focuses. If I'm not getting enough calories, I still need to keep the proteins in my body so my body can work without me having difficult side effects. So Yep, I gotta go. So, anyway, if you like this video, definitely go ahead and drop a comment below. If you're on semaglutide, if you're having experience with any of it, definitely drop a comment in there. I would love to continue to make videos about this particular journey. I will get out of the office setting. I would like to get back into the gym and doing videos on the way to the gym and kind of videos like I did in the past. My subscriber count, was jumping up really fast when I talked about weight loss. I think everybody kind of deals with some type of body image or health image or whatever issues. So if you are someone who may be interested in semaglutide, I would suggest that you definitely do all your homework, all your research. Definitely make sure that whatever um, medical spa, medical office, doctor's office you go to, they're definitely doing your labs first. Do not let somebody just give you this stuff and they don't do your labs. Make sure you're getting enough minerals and nutrients. Make sure that you're taking care of your body and staying hydrated and eating enough. I think that's the bigger issue at this point, making sure that I'm eating enough, besides not overeating. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of give an update on what this particular um, experience has been like, and just sharing my journey again as far as my weight loss and just focusing on the body in the sense of making sure that it's healthy. Again, I was overweight, but I was obese, but I wasn't like morbid obese. So as y'all can see, I I'm a thick girl, but I'm not a fat ass to that degree. And no offense to anybody, but being someone that was already close to fucking 300 pounds, excuse me, mama, if you watch it, but being somebody that was already close to 300 pounds at one point in their life, I will never ever get back to that weight again. But that was a different type of issue going on. With this particular issue, it's helped me get to the root of why I overeat and also the reprogramming of how I consume. So, yeah, if you like this video, definitely subscribe. I hope it was good content for you. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, babies.